easy rap and I entertain. I got a hot head but I use my brain. A lot of wicked MCs but we ain't the same. I got flows and money that I put them to shame. Cause I'm big in the game, I'm living with fame. You're lit in the lane, no name, what you trying to claim? Trying to test my frame, what you think you're trying to gain? I put the mic down, no trying to gain. Ram had a little time without me. Still no grind without me, no life without me, no risky roles.
So here with Lex Hanegraaf for our PUMPT Training and Conditioning Facebook page and website. We're going to put this video on YouTube as well. Like I said, here with Lex Hanegraaf, Muay Thai fighter from Southside Muay Thai. Just going to have a bit of an interview, talk about his fight training, his diet, mental preparation and things like that. So just to help you guys out there get a bit of an insight into what it takes to be a top level fighter.
First started about 3 years ago. Just started sort of a mate of mine I worked with is a fighter and he recommended this sport, so I thought I'd come and try it.
Yep.
And just took off from there.
Good. How many fights you had now?
11.
11. What's your record?
11 fights, 8 wins, 5 knockouts.
Oh, good. It's pretty. If you're in the game, you'd understand it's a pretty tough record over a short amount of time, and you can't just recover from fights very quickly like everyone thinks. You've got to keep recovering, and it takes a long time between. So look, your last fight was against Charlie Chow for the state title. If a lot of you don't know that Charlie Chow is the #1 contender in South Australia and probably Australia for his weight class. You've done this after a short time, and it was a fucking epic fight, man. Like crazy fight. How did you feel about it, and sort of tell us what happened?
Yeah, it was good. I went in pretty confident to the fight. Preparation went really well. I was really confident, and I wasn't intimidated by him at all. I felt really good about the fight. I felt fit. Had a game plan, and his experience paid off, and he ended up taking the win on points.
Good. So I guess for you guys that weren't there, you probably wouldn't know, but it was an epic fight, and Lex was knocked down probably 3 or 4 times during the fight.
Yeah.
What sort of you really impressed a lot of people that night with your hardness and your determination. Sort of, where does this come from, and how do you mentally prepare for like a battle like this?
I'm not sure. I think a lot of the preparation for the big battles probably comes from sparring. Like conditioning wise. You do hard sparring, and then when it comes to the fight, you can deal with the big shots. If you don't have the hard sparring, you can't deal with the big shots. That's what it comes down to, I reckon, mainly.
So sort of as we move along as fighters, and it gets a bit more of a publicity about each event and things like that. How does that play on your mental preparation at all?
Not for me personally. I know it probably would affect a lot of people, but I'm pretty outgoing. I do a lot of public speaking, so that kind of thing doesn't really have an effect on me. I enjoy going out in front of a lot of people and doing my thing, and I like the bigger shows more than the smaller shows. Leading up to the fight, we're probably losing a bit of weight usually for the fights. You have to cut a bit of weight. So in the morning I have some oats and some fruit, and then morning meal would be probably like a Subway sandwich with wheat bread or wholemeal bread. Lunch would be maybe a bit of sushi, or another salad sandwich or something. And then might have a bit of fruit before training, and then get home and have some like wholemeal rice, or if you're really cutting a lot of weight, you probably stay away from the carbs at night time. So a bit of meat and maybe some salad, things like that. Yeah. Protein shakes as well.
So how does this tie in with the training? Sort of like what sort of training are you doing, and how are you eating for the training?
Well, you need to eat carbs, which is why I have oats in the mornings, because if you don't eat enough carbs, you won't be able to train properly, and then you don't get the kind of fitness that you need. And then so in the mornings I'll wake up and have a piece of fruit, and then go to the gym, do a weight session, some conditioning and strength work.
And that's before you start work?
Before work, yeah, so it's probably about 5 o'clock in the morning. And then some oats and some fruit for recovery from that, and some protein. And then and then after training at night, after work, get home about 8:30, and have a meal and some more protein shake, whatever. Try to recover over the night, ready for training the next morning.
Yeah. So anyone who's in the training game will understand that protein is really, really important, and you can't.
Definitely.
You do not want to be catabolic, which means you do not want to be stripping down your muscle for energy, not till probably the very last point. All right, so it's not desirable in any case.
I reckon just take each fight as it comes. Just keep pushing myself and trying to find better and more experienced opponents, I guess. Like I fought Charlie Chow, he's a current Australian champion, and you know, he was a good opponent for me to be able to lift and learn from. So yeah, the hardest opponents I can find, they're the ones I want to be fighting, and just try to learn as much as I can. Probably you have to be careful with overtraining, because if you just have it in your head that you want to become this top-notch athlete and then you start overdoing it, you'll get injured. So you need to make sure that your conditioning's there before you start upping the training. Yeah, you just got to be prepared to put in the hard work. Every training session counts. If you rock up to training and you don't feel like you've accomplished something, then you might as well, you would have been better off going home and resting, pretty much, because, you know, rest is more important than a dodgy training session, in my opinion.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much for today, Lex. Alright, for you guys out there, we're going to keep going with these sort of series, interviewing top level fighters in South Australia. I've got a couple of people from around Australia that want to put some input. Current world champion Alicia Pastana is going to drop us a line next time. We might do a bit of a written interview with her. So yeah, just keep you posted. Alright, keep training hard, and yeah, keep tuning in to Pump Training and Conditioning. Thank you.